everyone. Welcome to Real Estate with Ryan. So excited to be with you on a Saturday in the studio, having a great time, talking real estate as always. Always fun topic. That and a little sports. And then it's a weekend. And that's kind of how we do it around here. Busy fall. Last quarter of the year is officially here. It's hard to believe it's October. October, pumpkins. I always say October is a great month for me. Got some great ladies in my life. You know, of course, my wife's birthday, a daughter's birthday. And of course, my mom was born in October. So October is a wonderful month for the Coleman house. Hope everybody's doing well. Thank you for tuning in. I know you guys are staying busy on the weekend, and I appreciate your time so much dropping in and listening to this little show called Real Estate with Ryan, where if you're tuning in the first time, maybe you've never heard us, maybe you're new in town, maybe you're a new volunteer to the volunteer state. Glad to have you on board. And we do this little show talking about the Knoxville housing market. There's a lot of news in the market going on, where the rates are going, where's the housing market, where's the inventory, Ryan? Hey, how do I buy and sell in this market? And how do I find a great agent? And we just do this show every week so we can give you some helpful information, kind of your experts in your backyard, and then try to make the show fun. Try to make it fun. Always the rule here, no politics. No politics. There's enough of that on the news. Try to have fun stuff. And hopefully when you come away from this show, have some helpful information, whether you're buying, selling in the real estate market in the Knoxville housing market. So that's what we do here. And if you're tuning in, you can catch us up News Talk 98.7 at 1 o'clock. We're on Talk Radio, 92.3 FM at 11 a.m. Of course, we're in our podcast on Google, iTunes. We're all over social media, even on TikTok. The young generation's got me on TikTok, so we're there as well. But we've got YouTube, Facebook, Instagram. In case you missed the show, a lot going on the weekends. We've got that live streaming as well for a rerun. We're talking about today, before we get started, but we're going to have a good show, kind of what we're going to look for in a house. We say, well, I want a new home, Ryan. Maybe this end of the year, and I bought and sold a lot of homes, but we're just going to give a refresher. You know, it doesn't hurt to kind of have a refresher. What I want to look for, we're going to look for some hidden things that you must look at. And if you're looking for a house, had some great clients last night, about 7:30, we were looking at a property and we were walking through some of the things and things to point out. And it's an older house, beautiful historic house in North Knoxville. But it, you know, has a lot of character, nice, large lot, but it's going to need some work. And then the older the house, the bigger the budget. And so we were talking about that a little bit last night. And so there's some things we're going to cover in this show, what you need to look for, whether it's your first home or you bought several homes that may come up when you're looking for that property, and how you get the right offer. Some congrats. Let's get some congrats going here real quickly. Congrats to 312 Northview Drive, actual closing. Congrats on them. And I found out they're going to relocate back into our area, and they're in the police department. And thankful for all that they do to protect our area and coming back home. So excited to help them on that move too. 4419 Wonderland Drive is officially under contract and ready to close here in days. 515 Cedar Retreat Drive in Murfreesboro under contract. Congrats. 1070 Alpine Drive, Unit 102. Cute little unit out there, a little 2-bedroom out there in Sevierville. Went under contract, multiple offers. Congrats. Duncan Lane under contract. And then Old Pawnee is back on the market. A little lot in Maryville. So if you're thinking about building, about 3 acres, just came back on the market. So make sure you want to check that out. Then 907, our great friend on Paint Rock Ferry is pending, along with 195 Old Kingston Highway in Rockwood. Congrats on the closing there. So we've got probably some more, but we won't spend the whole show going through that. I really appreciate everybody that's been following us all year. It's hard to say all year, isn't it, guys? Is it? It's amazing that this year is rolling so quickly. September, in a blink of an eye, it was like the end of September. And I was telling my team, I said, how did we get here so quickly? I guess just life's going so quick nowadays. But the end of the year officially is here, last quarter. And there's a lot going on in the real estate housing market and a lot of different things going on. You know, last week we talked about the interest rates were up about 7%. We saw good news this week. They went down a little bit. And there's some indication that we may be rounding the corner. We've got about 5 weeks out for midterms, whatever that means. But hopefully with all this election and movement in the marketplace, hopefully the housing market can get back to more of a stable ground as we approach the holidays. I tell you, one of the best times to buy and sell in East Tennessee in this market is the fall market. And believe it or not, it's when you want to sell as well. I had some great sellers say, well, Ryan, why is it a good time to sell into spring or fall? That's always, spring's great, but fall, winter, it gets cold. I want to get off the market. And normally I say you're right, but there's just something about East Tennessee and the activity that we have in the last quarter. And we talked about it on the last show. Won't spend much time about it, but it's where the opportunity where everybody's not on the market. Of course, our inventory's been low as a whole, but now it's extremely low during the fall time. And our people that are relocating all throughout the U.S., different states all across, they're coming here. And guess what? If we're not on the market, don't have our great property looking ready, festive colors, good curb appeal, then we're going to miss out for those particular buyers because they have to find housing. The rental market is extremely difficult. Go out there and kind of take a minute and go look for a rental. It's almost impossible. And then, of course, the pricing of what we're paying for rentals, yes, there's some there, but that makes an opportunity in the housing market and the resale market to kind of really look at that. And you're seeing some adjustments across the board. I know you've all seen that, right? You've been watching little real estate websites and things out there, probably our site and all the other big sites as well. You're seeing some movement. So I think for buyers, as we're moving forward this year, we're seeing buyers have an opportunity. Buyers have an opportunity to actually get to the property. Little conversation last night where we actually was refreshing. We could go look at the property and today talk more about the property and maybe strategize an offer that we could put together that made sense for everybody. Sweet lady that we were showing last night, and she's downsizing. So there's people in this market we have to buy and sell and move. Now, I've had some conversations with some other agents, and they said, "Well, hey Ryan, if you don't have to move, you don't have to move. Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it, Ryan." I disagree with that. I think the market, nobody can predict the market. You've got an opportunity in this marketplace. If you can find the right property now as a buyer, and some of the things we're going to talk about when you're looking for buying a home and you're doing the checklist there and we're covering these items, I think now is the perfect time because now sellers have an opportunity to listen to have a little conversation to what you're wanting. Buyers will make an offer that makes sense. Sellers are more open. And I think that that's an opportunity. That's a healthy market because usually our seller has to go somewhere and they need other housing. So I think it's also worked for them on the domino effect to kind of help them find the next house. So I think it's a good thing. It's just a transition that we're having to go through and so much going on in the market. These things kind of come in play. But let's jump right into the show. One of the first things that you're looking for when you're purchasing a property, obviously, if you're buying a home, congrats. It's one of the biggest investments that you ever make. And obviously, it's an opportunity to build wealth. And buying a home sometimes can feel like gambling, can it? Not really. If you know what you're doing, you listen to Real Estate with Ryan, we're getting you educated, you're smart, you keep it in budget. And of course, we don't want to get a money pit. And so you want to check these items, the big things when you're looking for a property, even if you don't do an inspection. Maybe you got a family member, a friend, we're always going to recommend an inspection. But at least you can check some of these things out to make sure that when you get into property, you put a big down payment down, you pay your closing costs, you pay the movers and everything that goes involved. The last thing you want to do is go in there, we got to put on a new roof. So let's start with our new roof. Obviously, it's one of the things that's easily overlooked because a lot of times inspectors sometimes cannot get on the roof depending on the pitch, steepness. A lot of times you'll see that they'll put in the report that they couldn't access it. Those are not good things. Sometimes we use drone technology, which are really, really helpful. But you want an inspector that's going to make sure you inspect the roof and cover all the angles, make sure that all the flashing is down. It's really, really big. Because if these little things like flashing and water gets in there and penetrates, then we have a real issue. And before you know it, you may not see it when you move in, but then what could have been an easily $1,500 fix turns into a $10,000 fix. So we don't want to get into that. You want to ask, most importantly, how old is the roof? Is it 1 layers? Is it 2 layers? Is it dimensional shingles? And does it have a warranty on it? Okay. Any certification when the homeowner put the roof on would be helpful. Any paperwork on that? And sometimes when in doubt, it's good to hire a roofing company out. Now, you got to be very careful. Sometimes the roofing companies just want to sell you a new roof. So we have some vendors that really do a good job, won't do that. And along with our inspectors with drone technology, they'll help you actually see what we're getting with and get some estimates there if you did have to do a replacement. Next big thing that sometimes that we don't get into in roofing is the life expectancy of the roof. Most people think, well, it's good. It's got, 5 years. Well, we need to budget in for a roof replacement. And all those things kind of come into your negotiating and so much more. We're closing out this first half. Stay with us. We'll talk more about what you need to learn when looking for your new home.
Success is achieved on the practice field. This is where I perfect my craft. It's hours of preparation to ensure that I am game ready.
Real estate's no different. It takes preparation and a solid game plan to achieve the best results.
Whether you're watching a game
or buying or selling a home, trust your hometown experts.
Hometown Realty is East Tennessee's #1 real estate group and a proud sponsor of the Vols.
I'm Ryan Coleman with Hometown Realty. The real estate market's changing every day. You need to know your home's value in today's market. Text your home address to 290-2290 for an instant, no obligation home evaluation. That's 865-290-2290. And remember, when you're ready to sell, we have a guaranteed sale program to get you in your next home stress-free. Trust your hometown experts. We've helped thousands of people just like you. Okay, back at it on the second half of Real Estate with Ryan. This shows always go so quick, doing them, having fun with you guys. If you're tuning in the first time, we're talking about what you need to look for when buying a property. Now, you guys probably bought plenty of properties. Maybe it's not your first home. I had a great client. She says, Ryan, I bought a lot of property. I'm an expert. I know. But it's always good to remind you on some of these things, these tips, because sometimes we get the emotion into the real estate. We say emotional. So buying or selling a home was one of the most emotional things you can do, one of the top 5 anyways. It's usually, all the stress of working with the kids and so much is going on in our lives and busy. And then before you know it, we got inspections and lenders and all this different stuff going on. And by the way, the spouses, taking a new job all the way across the state, right? Now I've got the kids. I've got to deal with this. Like, how do we handle all that? And so that's why all this is going on. This is our checklist, just a reminder. You get a great agent in your corner. Okay. A lot of these things come in with teamwork. We'll go into our Vol 60-second update, but that's teamwork. That's why you have your hometown experts here to help you. Proud sponsor of the Vols, and it's teamwork because we can't do it without you. We need great sellers, great buyers. It takes a team. We've got a team of professionals over here that can walk you from start to finish. I always say at the end of the day, our favorite time is when we go to closing and we talk about all the things that could happen and the delays or this happened, Ryan, but the smiling faces at the end and they're in their new home or we hand them the keys and we're taking pictures. It's always the fun part. It's a journey and we kind of get to keep a scrapbook of, I say Facebook scrapbook. That's really old school scrapbook. But we keep track of everybody, and it's neat to kind of look at everybody over the years and people that we've helped and just all the journeys in life, so from downsizing, new purchase, a couple other day, poor thing, not only did she lose her spouse in a short period of time, then lost her spouse, and then her dad in like less than 6 months period. So all those things are, heartbreaking, and those opportunities that we're involved, we're just treasured that we can have that opportunity with you and help you and be part of it. So we can ever be of help. We're always here to help you, and easy number in real estate. But let's talk about our vol update and we'll get right back into the show. All right, drum roll, please. Let's see. All right, let's get it going. Not a whole lot of action except on Saturday, and you know what's going on. It's the Vols versus LSU, Death Valley, 12 o'clock. Game time decision on Cedric Tillman, unsure with the high ankle sprain, not sure what's going to go on there. I don't know, but I got a feeling he probably will set out, but we'll see what everybody says. Want to make sure he's healthy through the season. No word on the street, but he is up and moving around. Also, men's basketball, women's basketball on the Alabama home game. We'll have Thompson Bowling Arena practice set in. You guys go over there. watch the Vols for a few minutes, then stop over and visit me, April, and the team over at Hometown Realty in Vol Village. That's next week. Alabama, Tennessee home game. Be glad to be back at home. Coming back with a big win. All right. That's what we're hoping for. And that is your 60-second Vol update, proud sponsor of the Vols. So, all right. I'm told to stay on focus today, Ryan. There's a lot of topics, a lot to cover, and we've got a short show. All right. So we're talking about roof in the first section. Most important, check that out. Make sure you check all the areas of the roof, things that you don't want to miss. All right. HVAC, your heating, your cooling. Is it electric? Is it gas? Make sure you check those out. When in doubt, if you haven't had it serviced, ask the seller, do they have service records so that you can make sure that the property and the HVAC was maintained over the years, kept all the coolings. Those are good signs that your unit, that even if it's older, is going to be maintained and it'll last you a longer time. If you have an HVAC that is maybe questionable, we have warranties and things like that you could add, extended warranties that will give you some level of protection in case the unit goes. Some of these units can be very, very expensive. It could be from $5,000 to $30,000 on units, just depending on the size of your property. So very, very important. All right, let's see. If we're talking about HVAC, we know about plumbing. Plumbing's a real big deal. A lot of things that we're going on with home plumbing now. And a lot of buyers get confused and make a mistake to think that plumbing is really just some Drano. Okay, no big deal. But it's really a lot more than that. In today's economy, finding a great plumber, perfect example, is very, very hard. And then a job that you think may be very small may turn into thousands and thousands of dollars. Importantly, that when you're making a purchase, you want to check your sewer lines, toilets, water heaters, all those things that are very, very important. And if your property's on a septic tank, we're having one now, then you have to get it inspected. So they do an inspection on a septic tank. There's some companies just kind of look over the top of the lid. Really probably not the best inspection. Some where they actually dig it up, go down to the tank, and then they test it as it goes on. We're having one right now. We have to do a little repair, a little small repair on it. So these are very, very important things that you get into the property and you check these out on the front end. How many sewer lines? We've got one in the city, believe it or not, where the main pipe that's coming through a house, older, it's in Oak Ridge, right? We got to determine whether it's on the city side or the homeowner side. So when we do a repair and we want to negotiate that, we need to see what the liability is for the seller, and also get the city involved to see if they're going to be able to correct that, because we could be thinking it's a couple $1,000. It could turn into a $10,000 job real quick. So those are very, very important components when we're looking for the plumbing. Toilets, leaks, all the basic things, discolorations, around your toilets or your bathtubs and things like that. Water heaters, typically they're going to last you about 10 to 15 years. Of course, they have the newer ones that are on demand and things like that. But you want to budget that in as well. Water damage, mold. We come across this a tremendous amount of time. And one of the biggest things is water is our friend. It can be great when it comes, it rains, it's pretty, everything's great. Have your gutter guards. But when water gets on the roof or your foundation, or, it can cause a lot of problems. And some of the most simple things come from a gutter or a downspout. And after time, it was no big deal, starts pooling. And before you know it, water has kind of seeped into the foundation or your basement, started leaking. For guess what happens? Mold. So untreated water leaks can cause damage on a host of problems, even structural, root problems in the basements, musty smells, all those particular things that are very, very important that you want to check into. Now, mold is not uncommon. We call it fungi. So you want to have it treated by a professional. You want to make sure you have an inspection that addresses that. But if you do have mold or a fungus, you want to make sure it's treated and remediated by a professional, because that can get in the air and can get very, very, very costly. So make sure we're checking that. Let's see. What else is really, really important? Well, number one, house that I went on today, have to really, really look at it, is your property by a major road? Is it by a major road or power lines, train tracks? These are things that are very, very important to factor in. The house may be a great property and still a great buy for you, but we want to factor in your purchase price and make sure you're allowing to know if there's a train track, what's the frequency of the train track. Okay. It's a good opportunity to find out when the train runs. Okay. And go by there and see how loud the noise really is. Power lines, do your research on that. See if that's anything that it concerns you there. Airports. We're by a big airport. Make sure that the airport doesn't interfere with your quality of life. These are things you want to check out. Condo and townhouses. Believe it or not, there's something called association fees. Association condos dues, and those fees are monthly. A lot of them are monthly, some are quarterly. Want to see what it covers. And will it cover your roof? A lot of those components, as in condos or in townhouses, they cover the exterior, which is good for you, save on insurance. And then the association covers the exterior, so your homeowner's insurance is less. Foundation repairs are really, really big. I see these all the time. Now, there's a difference between a hairline crack that's settling over time, and then there's vertical or horizontal cracks that show concern. You know, when you have a problem where you have cracks in the foundation, your exterior drywall and ceilings are showing issues. We've got gaps above the doors when you open your windows or they don't close properly. And then some of the staircases that kind of settle in, or maybe uneven floors. Sometimes that's settling, but sometimes that's signs of foundation or repairs that are needed. And not everything is a walk away from the deal, okay? A lot of these things can be fixed. You just want to make sure that we allocate a good budget and make sure we know what we're walking into to be smart buyers. And then, again, like I said, start with having a great team to back you up. We've got your back, as always, whether you're buying a home, selling a home, we can help you from start to finish. So we'd love to be part of the process. Proud sponsor of the Vols, your hometown experts here. And it's an easy number. I always say it's the easiest number in real estate. It's 693-SOLD, or you can visit me on my website at ryancoleman.org. Hope you guys have a wonderful weekend. Enjoy watching the game, and we'll see you next weekend here with Real Estate with Ryan. Take care, guys.